the you you sell you charge a commission fee, and typically 3%, whatever it is. You work that out with your seller, and even including that, you're still coming in way better than most of the offer pad and Zillow offers and open doors. So they have a whole section on how they recommend you filling out the comparison sheet, which they give you a template for once you're it's part of the library of tools that we have through the Express Offers. And you can go, and they actually recommend you going and procuring an offer from one of the big three or all three and showing that in comparison to what you get through our platform. And typically the seller, it said 94% of the time the seller still sells on the market, which means you're still getting to do your job and as normal, but at least you were there to show them what's available. And then I think there was one training or one part of the training, they said that they did an offer with OfferPad, and they gave you a 1% referral fee. So even in the worst case scenario, you were there and you were helping your person, and you still got a little bit of payment for that in like a worst case scenario. So, but their iBuyer offers, they say beat them a lot of times, the big three. So it's to me, in this market that we're changing, I feel like if you don't have this, you're at a disadvantage, because nobody wants to sit on the market as a seller, even though there are markets that are still hopping. There are a lot of them that are changing too. And you're going to have to present options to these sellers to keep them happy.
Yeah, actually, I really like that's interesting.
Awesome. Maybe we have to do maybe a train on it. But once you complete this whole thing on the Express Offers thing, and we can present it to the class for those who want to get more intricate and in the weeds on it. Would you be open to that, Bo?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
I'll be ready within a week.
Cool.
I'll have my 3 clients set up with it.
Awesome. All right. So we'll have that. If those are interested, yeah. I mean, that might be some interest. Obviously, like Bo said, this market has changed. We need to have every tool in our tool belt possible. And this is one that we have available at EXP that you don't want to leave out. So it just sets you apart from somebody else, right? Which is all about this business, is separating yourself from the other agent, what makes you shine. Thanks for sharing that, Bo. Brandy, did you have a question real quick or something you want to share with us?
I did. I actually have a question now for Bo, because I tried the Express Offers and I've done they don't accept it if it's in MLS, like they never do in Hawaii. I don't know if that's just special to this area. Even though it's been on the market for 400 and something days, and you have to put in a lot of work. So I guess I'm just trying to figure out what the solution to that is, because I have to set an appointment, go do videos, go do all that stuff, and then you submit it. And then they say, it's MLS, we don't want it. So I was just curious if there's a solution to that maybe I missed during the training, or that's just what I need to do, which is fine. I just am curious.
If we can jump on that actually later, Brandy. We can do a whole nother segment on that. Bo, appreciate it. Just because I want to get going on this. We have our time limited. And we do got a speaker today. So, but definitely, I think we should probably put a meeting together for all that Express offers, so everybody kind of gets the layout and understanding of the land, and make sure we're doing this. So absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, Brandy. Appreciate it. So today, my normal guy, JJ Mack, who was last minute, was able to make it here to give us a mortgage minute. So a good friend of ours, Drew Shade from Nordic Lending, jumping in today, and definitely on a last minute whim. So I appreciate you, Drew, for jumping in. He's like, yes, I'll do it. Cool. So Drew, please, can you give us a quick update on what the mortgages are doing, the rates? Are we looking at some lower rates or higher rates? Are we steady? What's happening in the mortgage world?
All right, my pleasure. Thanks and can you hear me? Thumbs up?
We got you. Perfect. We get you.
Yeah, so real quick, kind of last minute, so I'm going to just kind of fly through this, but quick update on the mortgage market. We are sitting at right now national average 7.25 with 3/4 of a point for a well-qualified buyer. 20% down, kind of your cookie cutter vanilla scenario. Myself, bit lower than that, and shout out to mortgage brokers with low overhead. We're going to be on the about 0.5% lower on the rate, just because we don't have the overhead. So quick little plug there for myself. As far as the future for rates, we really see them perhaps holding steady, maybe a little bit more of an uptick in them moving forward into Q1, Q2 of next year. I think you're really going to see something with the outcome of the midterm elections, which are just about 3 weeks away. Right now, it's no secret that people are not very happy with the state of the economy. I think that we're going to see that manifest with people going to the polls. And with 2 years for the next election cycle, basically are in the position where we are moving toward a recession. I think a lot would argue that we're already in one. And to make a case for re-election, those who are in power are going to have to make some serious adjustments to then be able to say, see, look, we had a recession, but look, we pulled us out of it. And that's going to mean an easing of rates. I think we'll probably see that in about Q3 of next year. So that's what I have kind of for a market update, real quick on the rates. I did want to share a couple things because, I mean, that's something that you could pick up the newspaper and find out. So some strategies that maybe not everybody is using, some things that I've been seeing work beyond just the standard 30-year fixed. First one is your non-QM, your bank statement loans or alternate document loans. I have a client right now purchasing a $1.1 million property, great income, great credit, etc., but self-employed, couldn't show, people don't want to pay taxes, so he wrote off a lot of stuff last year. We were able to get that done super easy with a bank statement loan. So if you have clients who are self-employed, that is one option. But the next big one that I think most people are not familiar about, certainly not experts on, and you really, if you want to be a true professional, you need to know about, are reverse mortgages. If you all can hit the little hand icon, how many people in here have represented buyers who are 62 and above?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Yeah, there's a few here.
Yeah.
Actually about 5 or 6 that raised their hand. Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of people don't know.
Mortgage too. They're great.
Okay, thank you. They are great. They have this horrible stigma. Prior to being a lender, I was a financial planner. I still serve on the board of directors for the Financial Planning Association of Northern California. They're kind of a cool hybrid between an investment vehicle and a mortgage. And you can use them for a myriad of different functions, but for purchasing a home, they're fantastic because they greatly improve the purchasing power for someone. So if you had hypothetically, actually, let's not do hypothetical. Let's tell you about a real client who was living in a 2-story condo. She's recently retired, had a dog, didn't really have a yard, wanted a home, but didn't want a mortgage payment. And the problem is that going from the condo to a house meant that her purchase price was going to basically be about $130,000 above what she was going to net from the sale of the condo. So she's really uneasy about it. Like, what do? I don't really want to get a mortgage, but that might be my only option. Or do I liquidate some of my investments? We came in with the reverse mortgage. She took the proceeds from her sale, put it down, financed the difference with a reverse, no mortgage payment. She's living her best life now. She lives in Sun City, Lincoln Hills here outside of Sacramento. She plays pickleball like 6 days a week. She's involved with all the extracurriculars. She's the happiest she's ever been in her life. And when I asked her if I could share her story on calls like this or with financial planners, she said, yeah, but under one condition, that you share with them how at ease I was after learning the facts about this. So it's an awesome tool that almost nobody is using.
Gotcha. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Again, another tool. Thanks for sharing that, Drew. And most of us actually don't really think about the reverse mortgage piece, but it's going to be coming up to that point, right, where we get a lot of clients who may be in that age group or that ability with equity in their home that wants to look at this. And so I wouldn't put this away in a drawer and hide it like it doesn't exist. It's a possible potential another tool.
Yeah, and so, down the road, I'd be happy to do like an educational presentation on it, because if you're not utilizing it and you don't know about it, you're leaving lots of business on the table.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Thank you, Drew. And thanks for jumping in last minute, my friend. Honestly, again, it was like total improv, and I appreciate you rolling your sleeves up and doing that. So thank you, Drew.
My pleasure. Anybody wants to, I'm on, all the socials, all the everything, Drew Shade, Nordic Home Loans. Happy to connect with you and happy to be a resource.
Awesome.
Thanks. All right, take care, everybody.
Appreciate it.
All right, bye.
Awesome. All right. So today, moving forward, we have we actually got a celebrity with us today. And I just say that and with the best of love, because I love this guy. He has the most amazing heart, truly inspirational. But he totally comes from contribution. I'm actually going to share my screen as I kind of, I'm going to do this, Knolly, because this is a great photo of you and Josie. I love you guys, man. This is actually your Facebook one, buddy. I was like, yeah, I'm going to share this right here. So this is Knolly Williams and his beautiful wife, Josie. Knolly has been in the music industry for years, for like 11 years. And then 2003, actually got into real estate. But he's literally he's an author, trainer, national speaker. He's been featured on ABC, NBC, Fox, CBS, Newsweek, and over 300 newspapers. He's made books like Success with Listings, Consider It Sold. Look, actually, the Triple My Listings. This individual actually did over 1,000 listings in his first 10 years of his business, only working 3 hours a day. 3 hours a day. So Knolly is going to speak to us today about capturing more listings in today's emerging market and how to do this with a limited amount of time. So without further ado, I appreciate you so much for joining us, Knolly. I know you're extremely busy always, but definitely if you want to click on Knolly's photo, there is a little thing there. Click on the pin, and that will bring Knolly big and bright with his
Pin me
cowboy hat
up.
on. That's awesome. Go for it, Knolly. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, Chris, I really appreciate you too, man. You have such a beautiful spirit, such a great heart. I saw you come speak in Phoenix, and then I remember at Build a year before last, you got really sick, and we were all rooting for you, praying for you, and then just to see you, man, coming back swinging, and we just got off EXPCon together, you're a fighter, man. You got that will never quit attitude, and I appreciate that about you, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you, and that's why this culmination of people, and people understand that we are amongst amazing rock stars with great energy.
Absolutely.
And that's why this was awesome. So,
yeah,
thank you so much.
All right, so let me, if I can, let me try to present my screen.
There we go.
And I'm a big Zoom guy, so bear with me as I try to figure.
That little arrow up says present now. Click on present now, and you can actually click a tab, a screen, or your whole screen.
I see it. Okay. Let me see. I'm gonna do a window. Oh, it's pretty much the same.
Like yeah. There we go.
All right. So let me share. Put a little presentation for you guys together. Everybody can see that? Yes.
It's coming up. There we go. Yep, I can see how to build a massive listing business in today's emerging market. There we go.
Yeah. So today, what I want you guys to understand is that you can begin to focus on listings no matter where you are in your career. Okay. If you have been in the business for a long time, if you're new to the business, it doesn't matter. You can start. When I first got started in real estate, I did come from the music industry. Nobody told me that I had to start on a team or that I had to start with buyers. So I didn't know any better, Chris. So what I did was I just started with listings. I thought that was, from everything that I read, it was pointing to listings. and so that's where I started. I took 21 listings during my first 74 days in real estate. And I went on to take over 1,000 listings my first 10 years in the business. And actually toward as I was kind of winding down and getting more into leadership, coaching, training, giving back, doing what I do now, I was, at that point when I was running my big team, I was working about 3 hours a week at that point. And actually, it wasn't even a big team. I had a lot of administrative people. But what you'll find is that listings is highly leveraged. So I just want to give you guys some tactics that you can take with you today and start implementing so that you can build a massive listing business. 96% of my focus throughout my career has been on listings. And then now I'm really dedicated to doing stuff like this, just sharing how it all works. Thank you guys. I want to say it right at the top in case I miss saying it later. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here, because I know there's a lot of places you could be other than here today. So thank you so much. And by the way, I love how Chris runs this team meeting. He lets everybody have a voice. So that's beautiful. So what we're going to learn today, I'm going to talk about the 3 lead buckets where all the listing leads that you'll ever need are going to come from. The 8 key sources for listing leads in today's market. It's a different market, okay? I call it an emerging market. And the 5 actions that you have to take right now to upgrade your success with listings. We're going to cover a lot of material. We're going to cover it very quickly. But I know you guys hang out with Chris, so you have the ability to absorb information very quickly. So
shiny objects, Knolly, shiny objects in there.
I know. But the slides are moving okay. Everything's good. I figure so. Yeah,
yep,
okay. So when I talk about living your dream life, there's 3 different kinds of freedom that I want for you. Okay, and I want you to write this down. You don't have to have all three of these freedoms immediately, but plan to have them within the next 24 months. Within the next 2 years, you can have all three freedoms. Number one, I want you to have time freedom. Okay, time freedom. That's very important. I want you to have financial freedom. Okay, financial freedom. And then I also want you to have location freedom. Okay, I want you to have those three freedoms. Location freedom means the ability to be wherever you choose to be and do whatever you choose to do, while you're there. Right now, today, I'm in Austin, Texas, where I've lived for 33 years. 3 months ago, though, I moved to Puerto Rico. My wife and I have been wanting to move to a tropical place, and we did, and we're loving it there now. So let's talk about living your dream life. Okay. I want you to earn $250,000 or more a year, working 20 to 30 hours a week or less. 3 hours a day is my preference. Have nights and weekends off, 4 to 5 vacations a year. And I also want you to be debt free.
Mm.
If that's the kind of life that you can
Yeah. Okay.
get behind, just raise your hand. Say, I like that. I like that. I want
Yeah, I
that
can
kind
get
of
behind
life.
that.
Yeah. This is
Yeah.
the life that I've been living for many, many years. I paid off my house many years ago. You would not believe the kind of life that you could live, and listings has made this all possible. Okay, more so now, the location freedom has come because of EXP. Cloud-based is what's up. So how do you find the listings in the first place? Okay, I'm going to talk about that first, and then we'll get into some keys. By the way, I do have a podcast called Success with Listings. It's a podcast. For those of you that are in the podcast, I know some people are, some aren't. I unpack a lot of this information on my podcast as well. So focus on the three buckets. This is what I want you to understand. When it comes to getting listing leads, there's only three main buckets where all the listing leads that you need are going to come from. I learned this when I was actually in Elk Grove, a buddy of mine's house. We were hanging out, and I get the question all the time, like, how do I get listing leads? Where do I get them? And I had happened to build a listing business where I was just generating leads all the time. So I basically reverse engineered several hundred listings. How did I get them? What was the lead source? And it turns out there's really only three buckets. These are the main buckets. This is what you want to focus on. Number one bucket's your sphere of influence. Okay. You're not going to be able to get away from that, no matter how you try. We don't want to, some people just don't like talking to their sphere. They don't like following up on, people. But that's where you're going to get the majority of your listing leads, from your SOI. Okay. And I'm going to give you a script to use if you haven't been keeping in touch with them. The number two bucket's going to be your farm. That's going to be geographic or demographic. It could even be a digital farm. I'm okay with that. And then number three is going to be your niche. So your SOI, your farm, and your niche. From these three buckets, all the listing leads that you need are going to come. Okay. So I'm going to give you a couple quick strategies on your SOI. What I want you to do is have an 18 touch campaign to your sphere of influence. That's a monthly e-newsletter. Okay. A quarterly mailing, like a postcard that goes out every quarter. And it has to be something like an item of value. Okay. So it could be some kind of a calendar. An events calendar is really good. It could be a list of places where kids eat free or buy one, get one free coupons. It could be a list of service vendors, whatever you want to put on the back of it. And then a semi-annual call to your top 200. That means twice a year, your top 200 people, you pick up the phone and you dial them. Okay. You reach out to them. By the way, you don't have to lead generate more than a couple hours a day. I'm going to show you that in a minute. So that's the 18 touch for your SOI. Your farm, that's getting back to geographic farming. Now, farming takes a while. It does take a little while to really get the farming up and running. But the cool thing about it is, once you have your geographic farm up and running and in place, what you'll find is that it's going to start giving back to you for many, many years. So people always tell me, hey, Knolly, it takes a long time to build a geographic farm. And while that is true, You have to start doing it now. Okay. I'm gonna give you guys access to a free book that I put out. It's going to share with you exactly how to build a farm, because that's a whole class, and that could take hours to teach just that part, that piece of it. Your niche, that's number 3. Okay. We could spend hours on this as well, but you got a niche to get rich. Okay, you have to. Your niche is going to be your specificity, your specialty, that one thing that you do that differentiates you. And here's a couple of questions. What do you offer that most of the other agents in this room right now do not? And why should a client use you versus a person on screen next to you? Okay, think about that. That's the question that your niche answers. And so there's all kinds of niches. You want to pick a niche that is based on your personality profile. Okay, it's going to be based on your personality profile. That's how you want to pick the right niche. And the free book that I'm going to give you access to is going to help you. It's going to give you 20 some plus niches to choose from, and you'll be able to decide which one's right for you. Now, the way to succeed at listings, though, a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to succeed at listings just getting them from one source. No. In my career, I took about an average of 10 listings a month, and I did that for 10 years in a row. Okay. It didn't matter what the market was. I've been in this business almost 20 years. Actually, next year, 2023 is going to mark my 20-year anniversary in real estate. And it doesn't matter the market. You have to focus on listings. You can work buyers if you choose to, but listings is going to give you all the buyers that you need. Having a good inventory of listings, you're never going to run out of buyers. Okay. So listings is the name of the game. When the market is moving fast, listings. When the market's moving slow, listings. When the market is up, listings. When the market is down, listings. You know, somebody asked me quite recently about how I thought my team would fare in this upcoming market. And the truth of the matter is, when the market's good, we make a lot of money. And when the market's bad, just double it. We're going to make twice as much. Just double it. That's just the way it goes. So if you wanted to do 6 listings a month, and I know many of you don't have any aspirations to do this volume of business. Like, I'm a high volume thinker. So if I was to open a taco joint, guess what? I'm doing them in volume. I'm going to be trying to sling them 100 at a time. But some of you want to. Your goal is just to do 20 deals a year or 30. Well, it doesn't matter what it is. But you're going to do a combination. So 6 a month would be 3 from your SOI, 2 from your farm, 1 from your niche. If you were to do 10 deals a month, you'd break it up this way: 5, 3, and 2. That's kind of the mix of how it looks. Your sphere of influence is always going to be the bigger bucket. Okay. What I want to do here real quick, I want to give you 8 listing sources for today's market. And I'm going to go through these pretty quickly. Okay. But we got this recorded, so don't panic. All right. Trial listing. This is a strategy that I started using years ago. A buddy of mine taught it to me. And whenever you have a seller that's on the fence, just ask them, hey, maybe it looks like you're not clear about if you really want to sell or not. Let's just do a trial listing. They say, well, what's a trial listing? Well, a trial listing is where we list your house for 15 days or 30 days. Okay. When the market was really, 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 really good, Chris, we would do a 3-day trial listing. Okay. We'd list it, or 4-day. We'd list it on Thursday. Obviously, it'd be sold by Sunday, right? Multiple offers. So the trial listing is still a good strategy to get. Now, when I do a trial listing, I don't do a 15-day listing contract or a 30-day. I do a 6-month contract. And then in the special provision section, I'm not sure how the California contract word has it, but you just put, seller may terminate this listing at any time after 15 days. Okay. And that gives them a trial listing. Chances are, once you have the house on the market, they're going to feel comfortable and slide all the way until you get it sold. Okay. But that's a way to kind of get your foot in the door. And it raises their curiosity when you say, well, let's just do a trial listing. What does that mean? Well, let's just try it out for a couple of weeks and see how it goes. Oh, I can do that? Yeah, sure. With me, you can. All right. Now, another one is the pre-NODs. Remember, NOD stands for notice of default. And a lot of people are not making their mortgage payment. Doesn't mean they're underwater, doesn't mean they're short, okay? But there are people that are in a foreclosure type scenario where have already started missing payments. I was approached by one recently where the guy was like 6 months, he hadn't made a payment, has tons of equity, and his house was on the auction block in like 2 weeks. So there's a number of strategies that if you learn them, you'll be able to prevent people from going into foreclosure, liquidate their property, get some money in their pocket. But pre-NODs is going to be a pretty big thing going into this coming up economy. Remember, we could spend a lot of time unpacking a lot of these, but we don't have that much time. I just want to get your juices flowing here. Old expireds, okay? Now, many of us hate expireds for the obvious reasons. When I first got into real estate, that's all I did was expireds to begin with, okay? But old expireds are different. What old expireds are is going back to people that have their home has expired back in 2018, 2019, maybe even 2020, and they never put it back on the market. They pulled it off, never went back on the market. So there are companies that can help you scrub the data and have a thriving old expired business. Hey, I saw you had your house on the market back in 2019. What's your situation now? You can start having conversations with people. Your sphere of influence, okay? The best script that I know of when you call your sphere of influence is just reach out to them, check, and only do this with your top 100 or top 200, by the way, okay? I don't want you calling 900 people. Just your top 100, top 200. You don't have to dial them all in one day. Just dial 3 or 4 a day, okay? And just find out how they're doing. Hey, how are you doing? I know that, and just talk to them. Look them up on Facebook. Hey, I saw you just got a new puppy. Saw your daughter just went off to college. How are you guys doing with that? What's going on? Just have a conversation with them, okay? I like how Gene Frederick says when he has recruiting conversations, he could care less if the person joins EXP or not. He just doesn't care. He's there to have a good conversation. And I like that attitude because it kind of takes the pressure off. Just call them and see how they're doing. That's all you have to do. Elizabeth Riley, she recently made a call out to SOI. She's one of the agents here at EXP, and she and the person, they were just chatting, no agenda in mind. And the person said, I'm kind of thinking about selling my house. Could I talk to you about it? Sure. And picked herself up almost a $2 million listing, just like that. Just reach out to them, see how they're doing. Now, your sole purpose is to find out how they're doing, but it's always going to come back and they're going to say, well, wait a minute, Chris, how are you doing? It's always going to boomerang back, right? So that's the opportunity for you to go into script mode. You say, you know what? I'm doing pretty good, but I have a big problem right now. In fact, it's a pretty big problem. You know what? Maybe you can help me with this problem. And they're going to say, well, Chris, what's your big problem? Well, my big problem is inventory. I don't have enough. And I want to help 3 families before the end of the month. I got 14 days, 15 days. I got 20 days, 21 days, whatever it is, to help 3 more families. And I just don't know how I'm going to help. Maybe you can help me to help them. And they say, well, sure. What can I do? Well, here's what you can do for me. And then you educate them on how to send you business. Okay. I personally like to educate them on setting up a 3-way text between me and the person that they have in mind and themselves, and introducing me to that person. That's how I do it. But so that's a conversation you can have with your SOI. Number 5, probate. Okay. People are always moving on from this realm for various reasons. Okay. And so probate is one of those real estate areas that you'll never run out of potentiality. Okay. And if you learn the probate business and you become a person that knows how to do probate, and then you get your skill into the right hands, you're going to be sought out. Okay. That's number 5. Number 6 is divorce. Chris asked about any divorce. Hey, that could be a good thing. I know several people that's actually been a good thing for them. And everything's a season, right? Even scripture says. So people that are in divorce, a lot of times they do have to liquidate that asset. And if you created the acumen, the skill to work with divorced couples. It's almost like it's like reverse marriage counseling. Like you're having a conversation, separate and distinct conversations with individuals. And some of them, like I've had some where the person, one party didn't even want to see the other party's name on an email. So I had to have separate and distinct conversations with throughout the transaction. If you know how to do that, if you're patient, divorce could be a great niche for you, or a great source for listing leads. Circle prospecting is another big one. Anytime your company has I say your company, anytime EXP has a listing that goes on the market, or you have a listing that goes on the market, or your team, then you circle prospect, knock on 40, 50 doors around that area, and just say, hey, we've got a new listing on 632 Hickory Street. Maybe you saw it already. It just went under contract, but we've got 2 more families that are looking. In fact, we had over 33 inquiries about this property. Okay. Now it may not even be your listing. You can find out from the listing agent, hey, how many inquiries did you get? Oh, we got a bunch of inquiries, whatever. Hey, we got a lot. So when you're circle prospecting, that means you're knocking on doors around that listing that's off the market. Say, hey, I know for a fact that there's several families that are looking to move into this neighborhood right now today, but that one's gone. Do you know of anyone else that's thinking about selling? Okay, that's circle prospecting. I actually have a whole chapter in this free book I'm going to tell you guys about, that's all about circle prospecting. And then off the market listings. Okay, let's face it, right now there's a lot of people that are renting their home that should be selling. They should be selling it because what they're getting for market rents and just the way the economy's gone, some of them are just going to want to liquidate. It's like, look, you know what? I've held this for long enough. I don't think I want to hold it as interest rates go into 7 or 8%. God forbid they ever do. But if the market gets, hey, now might be the time to liquidate that versus having to hold on to it for another 2 or 3 years. So you're going to find a lot of people that it just doesn't make sense for them to keep leasing their property. And then there's other opportunities, what we call off the market type opportunities, whether it be FSBOs and others. So these are 8 sources in today's market, but don't forget the 3 buckets. Okay. What I want to finish with is I want to share with you guys the 5 actions that you need to take right now. When? Right now, like today, if you want to upgrade your success with listings. The number one thing you got to do is shift your mindset. You guys already know this. You have to start thinking differently. You have to start, number one, you need to make up your mind that you're going to focus on listings. I don't care what excuse you give me, and actually have a whole class where I teach the top 10 reasons that you should focus on listings. And there's a bunch of reasons why people give me that they don't. One of the reasons is I like working with buyers. Nobody said you had to not work with buyers. Okay, this is not either or, it's both and more. Okay, it's not either or, it's both and more. So listings should be the name of your game. Most of you are not focused on listings because you're afraid. You just fear. I don't know what, just the same reason why you don't focus on luxury, even though that, I mean, when I got in the business, I knew for a fact that I can make a lot more money on a $1 million listing than I could on a 100,000. But I felt more comfortable going after the 100,000. Now I'm dating myself, okay? But back in my day, where's my cane? Yeah, back in my day, you could get a house in Austin, Texas for 100,000. That's crazy. But there was still $1 million houses, and I didn't go after them because I was afraid. That's the only reason. Okay, so you got to shift your mindset. You got to realize that you have game. Okay, you can get in the listing game. You're better than most of the agents out there anyway. Okay, and so you got to shift your mindset. Start. The book that I like the best for this is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. Great book for shifting mindset. Number 2, you have to do the 2. Okay, you got to do the 2. What does do the 2? What does that mean? That means lead gen and appointments. Those are your 2 focuses. Okay, 2 hours a day. In the morning, you're going to focus for 2 hours on nothing but generating listing leads. What kind of leads? Listing leads. 2 hours every day, 4 days a week. That's all it takes for you to get all the listings that you desire, but you have to be purposeful about it. When you go into your lead generation bunker, okay, I don't want you even thinking about what you're going to do. Well, what am I going to do today? That doesn't even cross your mind. Why? Because we just lost 20 minutes or 30 minutes of you trying to figure out what you're going to do. Okay, I'm here to lead generate. Let me piddle around. Let me go grab a cup of coffee. No, when you're in your lead generation bunker, okay, I give you one bio break. One bio break. That means you get to go potty once. Okay, and if you're real squirmy, maybe twice. But that's the only reason why you get to leave the lead generation bunker. You don't leave. You're lead generating every single day for 2 hours. I don't care how busy your business gets. Oh, my business is real busy right now. Well, if you only lead generate when your business isn't busy, that means you're in feast or famine. I can already tell how your business is going. So you got to lead generate every single day, 4 days a week, and you'll always have a rocking business. There's no way you couldn't be make icon if you follow these 5 rules I'm giving you. Number 3, you got to focus on listings. We've already beat that horse, so I'm not going to beat it again, but you have to. Number 4, you got to become famous, guys. You have to become well known in the areas where you serve. Okay. Now, by the way, I teach. Write this down: low to no cost. Okay, low to no cost. If I generate a lead and it doesn't cost me, $0, I think something's wrong. Okay. I teach low to no cost prospecting. I don't care if you're farming. I don't care if you're doing your SOI or you're working your niche. You really shouldn't have to spend any money out of pocket. Okay. But you have to become well known in the areas where you serve. That's super important. And by the way, some people have a big problem with this, Chris. They're like, well, I don't want to, I'm not cocky. I'm not saying to become cocky. Jesus Christ is well known. He was well known in everywhere he went. People knew who he was. He wasn't cocky. He wasn't arrogant. He wasn't haughty. He wasn't snooty. He didn't look down on you. Okay. So becoming famous doesn't mean that you have to be arrogant. Okay. It doesn't mean that at all. You should be well known. Don't be a secret agent. Okay. People should know who you are in the areas that you serve, period. I have a whole training on that, but we won't go too deep into it because we got like a few minutes. The last thing I'm going to say on this is you want to lead generate to your personality profile. This is super duper important. Reason why a lot of agents get out of the business is because they hate it. They hate the business. If you're lead generating to your personality profile, you love what you do. You never have a day. Well, it's like a Netflix series that you can't stop watching. You're like, when's the day gonna begin again? When are we gonna be able to kick off that series? When's the new series coming? I mean, your day is just like that. And it only is like that when you lead generate to your personality profile. I happen to be an ISC. That's my profile on the disc. Okay. So I've never made a cold call ever. Okay. I don't make cold calls. By the way, calling your sphere of influence is not a cold call. Hope you guys understand that. That's called a warm call. But yeah, I've never made one. Now there are people on my team that I teach how to make cold calls because they're almost 100% D, and that gets their blood flowing. Okay. They're pack leaders. That's what they do. So you have to lead generate to your personality profile. And I will say that most of the books out there are written to one profile. And if you're not that profile and you try to follow that system, it's going to suck for you. Okay. It's very important you understand that. So what did we learn today? We learned about the 3 buckets where all the listing leads that you ever need are going to come from. We talked about 8 key sources for listing leads in today's market. And actually the market's not even low inventory anymore. It's a weird market that we're in. We're kind of emerging. And then 5 actions that you got to take right now to upgrade your success with listings. I know some of you feel this way right now. Uncle Knolly, it's a lot of information. Boom, he hit me with the fire hose. Well, here's a couple of resources that are going to make it easy for you. Number 1, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay. I try to drop a video every day. How often? Every day. Yeah. Now I don't always meet the target, but that's my goal. And they're quick 5, 6, 7, 4-minute videos that are going to help you succeed in the listing game with mindset and other things. So that's at knolly.tv. Okay, write that down, knolly.tv. subscribe to my YouTube channel, free training always. Number 2, get this free book. It's called Triple My Listings. You can go to knolly.com. It's right there on the front at the top. Click on it. You pay the shipping. We send you the book. And it's 27 marketing ideas for free seller leads. Okay. And I wrote this because my revenue share group kept asking me, hey, I'm in my lead generation bunker. What do I do today? So I wrote a book on my 27 favorite strategies on how to generate listing leads, seller leads. Okay. And that's it. That's what I wanted to share with you guys. I'm super excited. Now, if I can learn how to figure out how to stop sharing. Did it stop? No,
Not yet.
Okay,
Yeah,
here we go.
Stop presenting.
There we go.
Awesome.
All right. So I hope that, I'm not going to hope. I know that was confirmation for some of you. That was good material, good fodder for some of you. Was it good? Raise your hand if it was all right.
It was good. Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Cool.
We have some questions too. We got some people raising some hands here. Some raising books. Let's see. Who had their hand up? Did Ross, did you have your hand up? No. Okay. Let's see here. I'm trying to get in all these questions here.
Yeah, and my apologies for not leaving. I know
No
that
worries.
this book is going to help answer a lot of the questions that you guys have on what to do, how to do it, what scripts to use, all this kind of stuff. And originally I was only sharing this with my revenue share group, but then I heard somewhere where they say one team, one dream.
Yeah. One big fire.
One big fire. So I was like, all right,
all ships.
Yeah. So I let everybody access it now. So
definitely that slide setup you had there on that emerging market. Is it possible to get that slide set?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Okay,
sure.
Send it to you. Yeah. So those that asked for it, I'll put that on the Team Freedom thing. So you guys can have that.
Sure.
Any questions you guys have for Knolly?
And I do have a hard stop at the top of the hour too, because I have another coaching. I have a coaching call.
So we got about 3 minutes.
Can I say something?
Yes,
sure.
Go for it.
Okay, I just wanted to say I've heard Knolly speak, and his story, you guys, is absolutely worth listening to. So I want to encourage everybody to go on the YouTube channel. There's a great, he spoke at one of the events that we may have, actually, I think we were at the same time. And but his story rocked. And you guys should all just, I'm so blessed to be here today and get to hear Knolly speak to us and give us all these nuggets, because I've heard his story, which is what was completely exciting to get me to even be here right now. And then what you just offered was just extraordinary, honestly, like amazing. So thank you so much, Knolly.
Thank you, Shireen. I appreciate that. Yeah. That's if you go to YouTube and put in Knolly Cabo, C-A-B-O, you'll be able to. That's a 20-minute, almost like a TED talk, but it was the first time I'd ever shared my story about being abused as a kid, and that on stage. I'd never shared that before on stage, and so it was. Thank you, Shireen, for that. I really appreciate it. It was a humbling experience too.
We got one. Jasmine said, "How do you match lead gen with personality test?"
Yeah, so what I tell, the easy way to do it is when you go through this book right here, you're going through and you're like, idea number 12, create your pre-listing video, okay? And then when you see the idea and you go through it, you're like, I hate that idea. That's the dumbest idea. Why would anybody do that? It's not your personality. Just move on. Then you go to the next one. And by the way, I give you 27 ideas, but you only need to implement 3 or 4 if you want to generate, 40, 50 deals a year. That's it. 3 or 4 strategies. That's it. I just give you a lot to choose from. So the best acid test is if it really doesn't resonate with you, it's probably not according to your profile. If you understand about personality profiles more and you start to study them more, then you start to understand, okay, this is my personality. I like to be, like some people don't like to be around people. That's okay. There's nothing, we're not judging here. So if that's your personality profile, then your listings is probably way better for you anyway, because you only have to be around people for 1 hour during the listing presentation. You don't have to go show 15, 20 houses. Okay. And then you get to go back to your den or your cave or your wherever you hide out and just talk to people on the phone or through Zoom. I do all of my listing appointments by Zoom now as well. So
wow. It's totally convenient and efficient time wise.
Yeah, and people are used to Zoom now. So it's like, oh, you can do it by Zoom? Oh, cool. What's up? Yeah. See, now my guy's going to go out there in person and meet with you, but to meet with me, I mean, we can just do a Zoom call. Oh yeah, that you offer that option? Yeah, that's no problem. For you, I'll do it.
Only
They
for
don't
you.
even know I'm in Puerto Rico. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I definitely want to honor everybody's time. We are at 12 hard at the top of the hour. Knolly, extremely grateful, humbled, blessed, man, that we just have been able to get more acquainted just being at HXP together. I knew you back at KW too, but just being a part of you now and you coming to share your story and your tools with us. Thank you so much. Excited. And as always. So again, everybody, thank you for joining. I love you guys all. I appreciate your time. Thanks for chiming in. Every week, same time, same channel. Next week, another amazing special guest we'll have, Adam Bailey, I believe, next week. So I'll send out more videos on that. But have an amazing week. Go kick it off and go get some listings.
Let's go.
Awesome, you guys.
Thank you.
Have an amazing day, y'all.
Thank you so much. God bless.
God bless.
God bless you.